You have to say overall, so far, so good. Handling the whole conflict of interest thing, I think he went as far as he could, using an old hand like Fred Fielding, a lawyer from the past who knows these things inside out. Very good thing to take that off the table as much as you humanly can. Some of his appointments, I think, are superb. Mattis at Defense, very, very much needed. And education, labor, EPA, three centers of what you call the administrative bureaucratic state. You served in Congress. Congress passed, what, 100, 120 laws a year? Regulators, 3,000 equivalent laws a year, got to be dealt with. So I think those three appointments are very, very good. Tillerson, I think, will do very well at State. He knows the world as well as anyone can, probably better than most people at State Department. The real battle is going to come on the economic front. I think they should push for a massive big tax cut right up front, throw the Congressional Budget Office aside and say we need something big to get this economy moving so people feel it right away.
Well, to that end, when you take a look at the personnel who've been lined up economically, some free market conservatives are pretty upset because they see Gary Cohn, former head of Goldman Sachs, an Obama-supporting Democrat, heading up the National Economic Council. Do you share the concerns of many free marketeers?
Well, I think the key thing is, and Trump will make the decision, he's got to make clear this is what he wants done. I think Gary Cohn will go along with it. He's not a policy guy. I think Mnuchin will go along with it. The key is the top has to say this is what has to be done. And on Obamacare, you can repeal Obamacare and fix it up over a period of time, but getting rid of the employer mandate, getting rid of the individual mandate, getting rid of the taxes, those you can do up front.
And I want to get back to Obamacare in just a minute, but as we continue the economic discussion, brief mention made of Steve Mnuchin heading over to Treasury. And again, you see Steve coming into that role. Right now, Larry Kudlow is on the sidelines, as is Stephen Moore, who played a part in the campaign for Mr. Trump. Do you see them being added to the mix, or is this so Trump-centric, if you will, that there are not real concerns about whomever the supporting players might be?
Well, I hope Larry Kudlow gets in, perhaps as the head of the Council of Economic Advisors. Perfect post for him. Steve Moore, whether it's in the White House or with the Vice President-elect Pence, very critical to have his voice in there. Others like David Malpass, who understands the Fed better than anyone else, get him in there. He was a supporter of Trump. So yes, they've got to get some of these people in because the president can do so much, but you've got to have a supporting cast, or at least some players in there who can push this agenda. And one of the things, by the way, I don't understand our House colleagues on this, they're pushing this thing called a border adjustment tax. Strip away the rhetoric. It's a sales tax for the American consumer. You don't want to go in an issue like that at the beginning of your administration. Just stick with the traditional vanilla, across the board big tax cut, get that corporate rate down to 15, slash personal rates. And if you're worried about the deficit, you can have a cap, say $100,000, $200,000 on deductions, rather than getting in fights how big the mortgage deduction should be and all that. Just put a cap, slash the rates, and then if you want to do other stuff in the future, you got time to get public opinion ready for it and things like that. But don't mess it up now.
So